Yeah.
Welcome everyone, one and all, to Phil Spencer in his living room.
Okay,
From his own.
welcome
to
everybody
Phil's
to Spencer's house.
Hope you and your family are healthy and safe.
All right,
We're all
everyone,
living extraordinary times,
search for
right
clues in the
now
background.
and making the best of it. We're all in it together.
Alright, okay, to
I'm
be
really
fair,
proud of the way
let's
that
not
gaming
hold
is
this
showing
against
up
the
places
conference because
to
there's nothing much
No,
else I
no,
can
no,
do
we're
about
not.
it.
We're not.
right
We're
now.
not. We're just judging.
Here we are.
I'm more questioning Phil's decision of attire. It looks like he's about to go jogging.
Wait, maybe the new game will have to do with Washington.
And that's funny. I actually rewatched once again the Xbox One reveal, and I noticed that he was like having two watches at both wrists. I don't know why.
Well, what's the point of that?
What if he breaks one of his arms to use your...
You know what? That's way too prepared.
One's for telling the time in America, the other's for telling the time elsewhere.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of actually like feel better like this, where he's not completely, stage prepared, because it looks a bit more natural here. While on stage, he always had these, forced a smile on him. Alright, let's see what it is.
It's
The corporate grin.
an X.
Yeah.
Inside Xbox.
Oh, we're starting with Peggy 18.
Hey everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode.
Well, they're showing
Oh,
things.
No,
hey!
it's just for the showcase, okay. I thought we were starting with a single
Yeah, they
trailer.
always
Oh, hey,
do
look
that.
at that, it's Grandma Boyd.
And of course, Larry. I mean,
They
we're
Along
used
with three
both
others.
Peggy
we are
and
fans
the
and social
SRB.
distancing. This is going to be pretty fun, right? Because you get to look inside our houses. I'm glad I did the tidy.
Yes, it is nice that we get to look inside of your houses.
Is he alright?
Funkos, move away, please.
They're having a Zoom meeting.
But let's start.
Oh
right
boy,
now.
for great free games, don't
No,
forget
no,
to
no,
visit
it's
the
my-
Xbox store.
It's Microsoft. They're using whatever theirs is called.
Please, guys, remember the Microsoft stores, I beg.
Dig in to all of that.
Well, specifically the Windows, because the apps will still be used.
Oh, good! You are not dead! I will be helping you out today. First things first.
Alright. Oh, grounded. Good, we're starting with this.
Oh, great, I'm grounded. I haven't even started yet.
Yes, Weebs, you're grounded.
Technically, we're all grounded.
You know, apparently some game developers are still able to work, including good old Sakurai, who just announced that he's working on Smash Bros. Ultimate remotely. He refuses to take that break, I see.
Well, Joe, nowadays it is fairly easy to do. So
I'm
because you
just
can
saying,
just,
Pedro, he
share data.
clearly refuses to take that break, is the point.
You are going to need to find a way to survive out here.
It's Sakurai at this point. Are you really surprised?
Of some sort.
Again, there's nothing technically wrong with this game. It's perfectly fine for what one should do. I just don't care for it. It doesn't look particularly impressive to me.
But you should be fine. Unless you get eaten. You'll either be fine
This is like
or
if
you will
Pikmin met Honey Shrunk the Kids.
Who owns the Honey I Shrunk the
Disney.
Whatever series?
Oh, okay.
I think that's maybe on Disney Plus.
Actually,
I think in the future we should just ask, does Disney own this?
cross some space
Yeah.
while looking around.
It's like
I'm not sure
that Simpsons joke where they say
Go.
don't use A flat or B natural. Those are owned by Disney.
In 2020,
July 28th specifically.
I'm a
Cool,
bit behind
yes.
you. I'm a bit behind you guys. So there's
Same.
nothing
Same,
about
same.
that.
For creating awesome
I'm on
storylines.
Twitch, so
It seems
Oh, you
fine
are?
enough.
yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Game is
Actually, we get
unfinished, so
there.
the work in
Expand on how you
progress.
tell
So,
stories.
Well, I
yeah,
would say actually I would like to watch again what the original trailer was like, but at the surface value, this looked a bit more polished at the very least.
I'll admit, it looks fine.
There we go.
yeah,
Ah,
currently
here
releasing
we
to
go.
Xbox game preview on July 28th.
And do it through the artwork and the atmosphere of the areas that you're exploring. It's all
Ooh.
handcrafted. we spend a lot of time talking about the tiny little details.
Well,
of
I mean,
why
okay,
is
I'll
this
give
thing
him
in the
credit.
yard in
There
the
looks
first
to be
place.
a lot
We
of
put
good
it
effort
here,
put into this
depending on the
game.
materials that
Just
the
something we
things are
could
made out
use
of,
for...
how they're placed.
Well, remember, Joe,
Sort of
Obsidian,
thing. We want to make all
sorry,
these
even for its
steps
worst
where it's
products,
actually a place that feels
like
lived
Alpha
in,
Protocol,
feels alive.
Obsidian always puts an insane amount of effort behind them.
First things first. You're not supposed to be here.
I
So
know
in
we're
the
not
trailer,
supposed to
you've
be
heard a
here,
voice,
but
and
we're
that's
here.
Our robot buddy, Virgil. Virgil is your buddy and your pal, and he guides you through
He has
the
a rainbow
adventure,
color
and he's
mustache,
also
that's
just the
cute.
NPC that you can talk
Because
to and get lost
fans.
if you need some help.
You'll either be fine or you will be
I'm
dead.
not digging too much to the voice of voice actor for the robot, though.
In the trailer, you notice that we do hint at that there's something else going on in the yard, and we do have a secrets and layers to discover. So there is some evil force in
Prominent.
the yard, and you'll discover who they are and what they're up to.
So basically it's a more technological version of that Luke Besson
Oh
animated
boy,
movie R4.
giant spiders, everyone's
You
favorite.
play in multiplayer,
And it has an Inception blonde for some reason.
Because every fucking thing needs to have it, like Mass Effect 3 already had it in 2012.
I guess to be
At
fair,
least they're being upfront about spiders, Jova, which is a lot better than...
a lot better than what?
Punch tiny insects in the face.
A lot better than what, Roy?
So it's like a VGM.
Well, this is-
Spiders, punch them!
Like, of all bugs, like a spider... Well,
What's really exciting
you know,
to me is that
like a spider
this is just the start of the
fear
journey.
is probably the most
Watch
prominent
game
for a lot of
preview,
people.
The storyline's
Yeah.
not really finished. I have tons of ideas.
I like
know the team has
spiders.
Tons of ideas. I'm sure the
Spiders
community
to
will have
me,
tons of
okay, they
ideas
get rid of the
on how to make
pests
this game
and
the best
mosquitoes
game
that
it
would
possibly
rather
can be.
bite
So
us.
let us know how
So
you feel
usually
about
I'm
it.
fine with
Depends on
them.
the variety, Bojo.
That said, though, there are some
We'll
spiders that are
community
just
to see where the storyline
assholes.
goes from here.
If I lived in Australia, I wouldn't be so keen on spiders.
Exactly.
Alright, great stuff. And if you're hungry for more grounded,
Hi,
the team will
Cuphead
be on
shirt.
right after Inside Xbox with a gameplay live.
it's a hoodie.
Don't miss that.
Cuphead
But
hoodie.
First, for the rest of Inside
Sorry.
Xbox, we've got a ton of good stuff for you.
Coming up, news round about Gears Tactics, Xbox Game Pass projects of Hotline Miami
Oh,
Collector,
great! We're gonna talk
Empire, and
about
Sea
Project
of
X
Thieves.
Cloud.
And Sea of Thieves.
Apparently something to do with Yakuza, that'll probably be part of Games Pass.
More ports, I suppose.
To be fair, Pedro, like, I know, you know, it's not really great, but we were warned about this part.
Oh,
Besides,
I'm not-
at
I'm
some
not,
point we need to talk about it.
It's
Yeah.
Well,
not so
that-
much that. It's just that I don't like game streaming. So.
Also,
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ, that beard.
Great to see
There's
you.
even lag.
Now, we had a lot of news recently about Xbox Series
Xbox
X.
can't provide actual decent internet connection to their employees.
Sure.
You fucking
So it was an
cheapskates.
exciting time because we finally revealed the full technical specifications of the Xbox Series X and provided insight.
Oh, more
into
talk
some
on
of
the
key
Xbox Series
innovations
X,
powering
that's
the next
nice.
generation of gaming.
All that money
Xbox Series
that
X
could have been
is our
spent on
fastest
shaving my
console ever,
to make the consoles.
Was instead put into a
Hey,
refrigerator.
some people actually look like their beards.
I'm not- Well, I'm not. Who said I was complaining?
Well, you suggest that they would invest better their monies.
Never seen before in a
Again,
game
the
console.
Xbox Series
And we
X
really
looks
designed it to have
interesting,
the
but by
optimum,
God, it looks like a
balance of
refrigerator.
power and speed
I
in
think
the
it's
console
more.
design.
Well,
And it's ultimately
I think it's more trying to emulate. Oh look, here's 5. Great.
Now we heard about things like
That's the thing, Jova. I think it's trying to look like a tower PC. You know.
I know, it's just every time they show it, it ends up looking like a Samsung.
Oh,
I will buy it
refrigerator.
just to
Yeah, I'm
replace
half-
my fridge
great.
with it.
I'm
I couldn't tell the difference.
Really, Minecraft doesn't need the ray tracing.
Oh.
I'm half tempted to put my cider in
Minecraft was created specifically to avoid modern day graphics and alteration on PC, just so that it could be accessible to literally everyone. Why do you have to put this?
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. What's the point of a new super powerful console if outside of Gears, Halo, and Forza, you're not gonna make games that take advantage of?
Also, I
Have
agree. This
access to it, because otherwise you get, downgraded ports like on the Switch.
You're about to say, Shure?
I said I do agree. It kind of takes away from the quirkiness of Minecraft, and I know there are plenty of mods that exist to heavily alter the appearance, but even still, by getting any of those, it still looks like something.
animation.
I don't
more
understand
denser,
what they're
richer
doing.
Worlds. Then you look at something like Quick Resume. Quick Resume's actually built on top of the Xbox Velocity.
Multiple games were
which actually
suspended
just
state.
really allows players
Forza
to jump in
Motorsport
and
Why would you need to do that?
and pick up
Like,
Wow.
I feel compelled to play 3 games at the same time.
Well, what if you
Maybe some people are that crazy.
Maybe.
And it's such a great experience. And to be honest, it's really hard to go back.
Don't you see it? It allows you to practice your multitasking skills.
But modern games shower you with autosaves and checkpoints literally everywhere. Why would you need this? This is literally holding your hand, literally princess carrying you to the bed.
Well, that's an
But
interesting
I like-
visual to imagine.
The
princess-
cool.
The princess being the one to carry the man to the
So
bed.
that we can take those assets and
Yeah, like
expand them
Toa
so that
did
developers have
with,
direct access to them.
Oh, is this Gears 5?
Yeah, it's Gears 5.
Okay.
Ah, yes, everyone's favorite messing of a long-beloved
I
franchise.
suppose.
It looks gorgeous. I'll give it.
Yeah, trust me, it needs all the praise it can get.
Which is a brand new API that gives developers direct
I'm sorry if I
access
sound a
to
bit
the NVMe
callous
controller.
with
And
it,
then
but
finally, we have
Gears of 5
Yeah,
really screwed
for
the pooch.
reference audience, we're actually sort of marathoning the Gears franchise as we are going through this, so stay tuned.
And that acts as a memory multiplier. So when you think about these large open world games like a Red Dead Redemption 2 or an Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
So mainly what they're showing here is the power of the system. You know what?
Pretty
Fair
much.
enough. You know what? Fair enough. It does good for a system.
Like, it's not too dissimilar to that conference that Mark Cerny held the other week about the PS5.
It's more so the fact, Joe, that they're showing the same things they showed before in the Digital Foundry thing that they made. They're mostly using Gears 5 as the showcase.
Oh,
Okay,
hello.
okay.
The memory cards, they're...
1
Oh,
terabyte.
nice.
So you don't have to connect external hardware, I suppose, in order to for memory storage.
That's
What?
not...
Wait, the memory cards are making a comeback?
So it
Pretty
would
much,
seem...
although in this case they function like external hard drive, but what bothers me is that they're probably going to be exclusive models designed for these consoles, meaning that we'll have a situation like the PS Vita with their own memory cards. These things will be super expensive. The bootlegs will be hard to make in order to, have them at a decent price, and people will not buy them in mass as a result.
I guess we'll have to wait and see about a price point. That said, I mean, I'm not against the return of the memory card. It can actually be very helpful, especially in a
Me neither,
digital age of
but I
gaming.
would prefer if they were, instead connecting to a more, general production instead of making their own person, because it will make things a bit more complicated. Mind you, the dimension of 1 terabyte means that a fact of things can stay on that, so outside of the one that it's probably included with the console at launch, you won't really need. You really want to just keep everything.
Here's just praying that, it won't give cause for them to have these insane giant patches that end up practically filling up your consoles. I'm looking at you, Batman Arkham Knight.
So we're excited to ship.
For me, the only real issue is that they're not on your new AAA games to go along with this console. Like for me back in the day, the fun of getting a new.
Let's
be the 5 things you need to know for Gears.
Oh,
Gears
Tactics.
on April 28th.
All right, Gears Tactics.
Help a community in need with the Halo 5 Relief and Recovery Pack.
All right, it's been a great time recently for Xbox Game Studios.
Isn't this still slated for a Christmas release or something?
Yes.
Both
of them are.
Yeah.
I mean the console.
There are rumors of potential delays, but they're nothing more than that.
Right now, they're rumored to be delayed. We'll see how things go.
Wait,
Bleeding
Edge. I tried it. It's not that good. It's
Oh,
average.
right, I forgot that thing came out.
And some of the most beautifully chaotic.
Oh, remember, Joe, I have Game Pass until the beginning of May. So.
I know, I'm just saying, I literally forgot Bleeding Edge was out. That just shows how forgetful that game is.
So did everybody, Joe.
Oh,
they're trying to relaunch it again.
really? Okay. After the disastrous opening that game got, with all the complaints, glitches, people having to mod it to be better, we're really gonna try and re-release it? Like, pardon me, did people even
Unless
really
I'm making
like the first State of Decay?
style of revival, I'm not really optimistic.
A what style of revival?
Realm Reborn.
Ah, yeah, it would need to
or
be.
No Man's Sky, but no, it's still the Juggernaut edition looked
Apex Legends.
Huh.
Included in the event are dozens of items, including 12 legendary skins.
I remember that free-to-play that Respawn Studios did, but this looks like a different. It's like a shorter title, one of these.
Hey, speaking of free-to-play, how much you want to bet that we'll get Raid Shadow Legends port for the Xbox
No,
One?
Joe, that's more likely.
By the way, Microsoft.
Forza Street.
Forza Street. That's a PC exclusive.
Oh, hey, it's coming to Android and iOS.
So let me get this straight. Forza. Well, let me remind everybody. Forza is one of the star IPs of Microsoft. It's available on everything except the Xbox console itself. Forza Street, I mean. But good job.
It's coming to Android and iOS. How nice.
Well, I mean, there have been. When was the last Forza game out?
Ford GT as a welcoming gift.
Well, regardless, that's irrelevant to us. Why can't this be on the Xbox as well? It's their console. Anyway,
Replay days from April 6 to April 12.
Hey, by the way, Microsoft, sorry, but nobody's gonna play Apex Legends on Xbox because you have to pay for Xbox Gold to play it, so it's not really free to play. So.
Well, that gets kind of same for the PS4, and that's a third-party title.
Actually, no. In the PS4, you can play the free-to-play stuff without PlayStation Plus.
Oh yeah, you can play PC stuff.
How did Sony manage to convince EA of that?
Well, it's not. Well, it's supposed to be free to play, so that's kind of. Not to mention, Taylor, it's Sony who controls what requires PS Plus, not EA.
It's exactly what I asked. How did they manage to convince? Because they could have easily just pulled out if
because
they did
Sony
it.
is the market leader too.
I suppose.
In other Minecraft,
And EA is on very thin ice with
education category to the
Yeah, that's that too.
They've been on that ice for a while.
Oh wait, sure. Here's the thing. They're finally at the point where the ice is cracking under their
Okay,
feet.
now it's my turn to bitching out. Microsoft, the Xbox, that's nice actually, but these videos when you're showing off these people building this thing, this like incredible dungeon, those you could find them like on YouTube in 2010-11.
Or now, since
And it was
for some reason
actually
the
more
game boomed in popularity
It
again.
was actually more entertaining seeing people dumping lava on them.
Coming soon to Xbox
Coming to Xbox Games Pass for console. Oh, there's a difference.
Yeah,
Because these games were not previously, and now they are, I guess.
No. I can actually explain that. Basically, Joe, remember the backwards compatibility thing is still exclusive to the console. So any backwards compatible 360 or Xbox games that are on Game Pass are not on Xbox Game Pass PC because the backwards compatibility thing is not on. Basically, anything that's Xbox only is not on the Game Pass PC. Basically.
Wow! Well, we still read like that was a Darkest Dungeon clone if I ever saw one.
Is this Football Manager?
We're past that for a while, dude.
Yeah, but I'm behind you guys.
I go on Twitch as well.
It's like an indie game montage or something that they're doing.
The immensely popular Ragdoll Physics meets
Play
platform
through
puzzler
season
Human Fall Flat
3
is releasing
and
DLC
beyond.
of a new level
Thermal.
called
Play Sweetie Crab.
This frozen mountain environment will have you venturing from snowy peaks to underground caverns in search of gold. You can look
Looks
forward to its
nice.
release in the spring.
I don't know, it looks a bit too chaotic
Game Pass
though.
members will have access to the DLC on the day it launches.
Okay, wait. We're on the Blobby game.
That's a literal RPG Maker title.
Thermal by Sweaty Crab.
Wow, that's an
Okay.
incredibly cute-looking ogre.
Oh, there's Yakuza.
We are pumped to debut the next chapter.
Oh, I guess Yakuza Kiwami. Yeah, it's Kiwami.
Yakuza Kiwami.
I still actually have to play it myself.
First installment from 2005.
So looking forward to Kiwami
Takes you back
3.
to where it all began when Kiryu
Well, it
was
doesn't. It's
just
not
about 10
necessary,
years
Jova.
old.
3, 4, and 5 have
Smelled
been
his
re-released
family
as remasters
alone in
on
the
the
world.
PS4, and I think also they're getting on PC too. So the Kiwami treatment was only for 1 and 2. Next.
And don't forget, the team recently added perks, which adds regular content drops for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members.
Oh, right,
now,
for
on
Game
both
Pass
PC
Ultimate.
And console, and brand new to perks, you can get 5,000 My Team points and 30 skill boosts.
Whoa.
for
Hey,
every 20,
NBA
an Xbox starter
2K.
bundle with
No
credits and
controversies
more
here.
and a monthly bonus pack for Fantasy Star
Alright,
Online 2.
we actually
Plus,
mentioned
for those
Phantasy
who
Star
haven't
Online
grabbed
2.
them yet, you can still get an Ori-inspired hull.
So,
flag,
Sea of
Oh,
Thieves.
look at that, Java. You can have Ori aesthetics in Sea of Thieves.
Okay.
That's nice.
Okay, so I gotta know, has Sea of Thieves finally gotten to that point where, you know, we can actually
Well, we're
like
gonna
it
talk
now?
more about it later, Jova, so I guess you could be seeing for yourself.
I was just wondering if, like, well, there's a general consensus at the moment.
Well, no one is lamenting of it, so...
Well, you know everyone was lamenting of it when it first came out.
Yeah, but if it's still bad after these matches, people will surely be talking about that.
For the very first time in Japan. For our friends in South Korea, from April 14th, Xbox Game Pass for PC will be included.
Please, Japan, buy your console, please, thank you.
Available for standalone purchase. So welcome. Oh,
Well, maybe if you gave me a reason, I would.
Savage Planet being added to Xbox Game
He's talking
Pass.
to Japan.
I'm also delighted to announce
Oh, well,
some brand
sorry,
new
like,
DLC coming to the game.
The point still stands.
I'll take
Okay,
that
it still applies.
appropriation
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah, this will get the Japanese to buy an Xbox.
Oh, this is the game with the weird title, Journey to Savage Planet of Garbage.
Honestly, there's Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey were not able to, so I don't think anything will.
Okay, I still don't understand much of what this title is supposed to be.
It looks quirky and weird.
Checking the Kindred database. I think I can upgrade
Not
your suit.
too fan of a filter for the voice for the
It's
suit.
a bit heavy.
Don't we already have destroy all humans or aliens, whatever?
Well, this is first person. Honestly, in aesthetic, it reminds me much more of No Man's Sky. Coming April 15.
Huh.
Now we're going to talk about
Katarina Macedo.
subjects.
Oh, Katarina Macedo.
Oh no, she's gonna talk about the Gears Funko.
I'm actually wondering.
Which
I
is
wonder
coming
when
out on PC
Let me
on
hear
April
her
28th,
accent.
and then Xbox later this year.
Oh, actually, no, Gears Tactics, thank you.
Oh, it does seem like this woman is Portuguese, it seems.
Oh, how nice.
OG Portuguese or
Yeah.
South American?
That's what I was trying to figure out. It does seem like she's either Brazilian or Portuguese, but I was trying to hear her accent just so I can pin.
So yeah, Gears Tactics is basically your typical XCOM strategy.
Yeah, definitely XCOM with the Gears cult.
A lot of
Shame
people.
that my PC, if my PC wasn't such a toaster, I would definitely get this day one.
A lot of people are saying that.
Hold on, 5 bad things about Gears Tactics.
A true PC game.
A lot of
True
people.
PC game? What about
Because-
Xbox? What about me that owns an Xbox One?
I guess they're probably talking about the structure of it. Like, I think it's still gonna be available for consoles. It's just
Play
that.
it, Gabe Diaz.
Hey, Gabe.
Gabe Diaz.
New protagonist.
That's Kate's.
Who?
Kate's father. Okay, Laura Bailey's character.
Oh, great.
Okay,
Just,
okay.
I guess we're pushing the new family angle.
Okay,
I don't like the white stripe on his haircut. So, like the Monster Maker.
From what I've heard, the general consensus.
Oh, a new locus leader.
Oh, fight a monster maker, yeah. From what I have heard, the general consensus is that Gears Tactics is considered better than the current mainstream Gears games.
Well, we haven't. It hasn't come out yet. I'll wait until I see the cutscenes to find out.
Executions will keep you in the fight. Gears of War
Well,
has always featured
that's the
these
general
incredible
consensus
execution
I'm hearing,
you
is
can do
that
with the
people find
Lancer,
that
assault
more
rifle, or the National
interesting.
Shotgun. But in Gears Tactics, execution.
But yeah, you're right about it. It being
if you run forward and execute an enemy,
That's the thing,
Bates'
Jova.
character's father and all that.
You were asking about it, Jova? That's the thing, Jova. This game is going to release on PC first and Xbox later.
No loot boxes, no
Of course.
It was originally...
Oh, no microtransactions!
Once again, how sad is it that now microtransaction has to be like a selling point, like being, hey guys, we are not doing it, instead of, you know, actually thing we should be taking for granted.
Like a lot of things, Tia, this is the world we live in now, apparently.
Well, someone should fight it for change that.
Tio, I have good news for you. EA are going to see to it that that change comes because they are getting sued by so many countries right now.
So they were getting sued like months ago, as it actually progressed.
Yes.
You can totally do that.
It's just that these things take time, remember? Like, I know that we wish a lot of legal lawsuits could go as smoothly as they do in Ace Attorney. As in, you know, 3 days or less, but no, these can take years.
Alright then. Larry H.R.Y. How's it pronounced? Rib?
Hey, Major Nelson.
Coming to Xbox console later this year. Wait, which one?
/game streaming to register. And thanks to our friends at EA who
Look at all those countries.
Which are
France,
third-party.
Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, Denmark, Finland,
All
Ireland, Italy.
The Play Anywhere initiative.
Spain, Sweden.
Inquisition. Next up is the return
Hey,
of
Dragon
Journey
Age
in the
Inquisition.
beautiful side-scrolling platformer puzzler Unravel 2.
So 2 EA games and an indie.
Service as well, allowing fans to live their best virtual
Actually,
life.
free.
I
games.
thought they were gonna say
And
whatever
now
that
for a
new
couple of
Bioware
indie
one
darlings
was.
coming to Xbox very soon. And for one of them,
Huh.
I mean really soon.
What is? Oh, the Hotline Miami collection. They were teasing that before, and oh,
Tomorrow. The Nation. Why are you here? Okay, so someone's been.
well, if you haven't played, if you don't know them, Hotline Miami is particular as an indie, even as a game in general. It's a bird view, as you can see, like a Zelda-style bird view. Game that replicates the pulp movies of the 70s and 80s, where people would just burst into houses and bloodily shoot everyone in there.
I can see that.
Like, and it's centered, in story-wise, it's centered about the usage of drugs. So trippy sequences are guaranteed.
It feels like a successor to the Die Hard NES game.
Xbox One.
So do drugs,
Download
kids.
now.
I would recommend it, but if you have to play it, be sure to be like focused, because otherwise you will not understand a single thing of what's going on.
Oh, Atomic Crops Farm.
What's with this Celtic gig
This
music?
has got to be one of the weirdest marijuana patches anyone's ever farmed. Mary.
Is it like a pixel slime?
Wait, hold on. You can marry rabbits and plants in this game?
Why?
I'm so...
Wait, I don't want to marry Watercress. What was Watercress supposed to be in that shot?
Eh?
Oh Jesus!
What this Watercress thing was supposed to be?
Atomic Crops,
So,
Ultimate
an
28.
How weird.
Alright, so let's talk about Hell
Looks
games.
interesting.
They are best known for
Oh, now
creating
we're gonna
procedurally
talk and
generated
think about
infinite
The Last
universe of
Campfire.
the Sky.
Ah,
The
No
new games
Man's
that Hell games.
Sky.
But inside
Well,
the
no,
smaller
Joe, I guess,
Disney
yeah,
studio is an even
yeah, there you go, we're
smaller
about
team
to
that's built
mention
on a
Last
passion
Campfire,
project,
because
which is
it's
a more
the side
handcrafted,
game
intimate,
that
and
a couple of the people of the
Here's
team are
designer
developing.
Steve Burgess to take us through for the first time the first few
Oh
minutes of
yeah,
gameplay
that's right. We
for
saw
Last
this during the Nintendo Direct.
Hi everyone.
The Nindy Direct.
And I'd like to show you an Xbox One exclusive.
Is it on
Just a moment
PS4
to take
this
you through the first minutes of the
I
game.
think it's gonna be multiplayer to begin with.
We know it's at least going to be on Nintendo Switch and Xbox stuff, so probably.
This
This
really
game
exciting
looks
for me,
cute.
actually. We've been working on this game for a few years.
Well,
and it's really nice to be
A
able to
bit
show it off.
bland, but cute.
Like, no, more like how it controls. Like, okay, movement, I get it, but more like, what do you do? What buttons it's mapped to?
The art style feels
what?
like a...
It's a trailer, not a game tutorial.
Actually, it's a gameplay section, because I mentioned the first couple of minutes, so I guess I'm about to find out.
The art's... Yeah, it looks like a mixture between Legend of Zelda and Journey.
Yeah, definitely inspired by Journey.
The painting glowed, reacting to Ember's presence. It showed a moment from
What
the first
accent is
Ember
that?
story. Ember just hoped it would show the way home.
What you're seeing now is the narrator.
Actually, person who's playing this, that's the thing I could hear, not see the narrator. Structure better your script.
Hopefully you can see that the world is quite charming, but you'll feel that there's a real undercurrent of darkness.
That's a skeleton.
Yeah, it's his friend, but a corpse.
So wait, this game suffers from hepatitis, where the narrator is pointing out clearly what's going on screen.
I really love this moment with Ember. It's the first time Ember's seen a skeleton.
I need it
Despite
more
that,
than you
Ember's
do,
first thought is
comrade.
empathy. A little touch on the shoulder to say sorry and pay respect.
Or said, not shown, the fact that Ember hasn't seen a dead person, apparently.
Inside was a gold statue, molded in the likeness of the first
Touch
Ember.
shoulder to pay respects.
It's almost like a children's book narration.
Interesting.
We've taken a lot of different inspirations for making the game. Illustrate books and movies like the
I
Dark
do wonder
Crystal
how
and
much of
Labyrinth.
this narration will actually be in the game, or how much of this is
If
actually
it's from the
just for
get-go and the scripting also the items, I can imagine it's gonna be plastered pretty much everywhere.
I'm wondering
So,
if...
probably either you're gonna like it or not.
Well, part of me wonders if maybe this narration is only for just the presentation here, and the actual thing won't be narrated over, or maybe there'll be an option to toggle on and off the narrator voice.
Thinking only of the stranger, now left in the dark.
He's put so many beautiful little touches.
Especially since some of the stuff the narrator is saying clearly does not match up with what is written.
The stairway led to an unfamiliar forest. If the stories of the first Ember were true, the path through the forest
And it's
would lead
important because it's written in red.
Sometimes I'm playing a new build, and I'm used to seeing this white box layout, and I've taken it back.
Although, to be fair, a
transformed
narration
completely,
over
so much love.
gameplay can work. I mean, it worked with
No,
West
Jova, I
Coast.
don't mind that as long as it doesn't state the obvious, like literally the scene before where the character does something, but the narration immediately says the thing that the characters just did. Like once again, sometimes what the visuals tell is enough.
It could be something like Little Big Planet, where we have a witty narrator cracking joke.
Yeah, more like instead of stating what the character is doing, more like actually commenting on it. Like a character who does perform an action is saying, "Why are you doing this?" But I'm pretty sure that the narration of this game goes for the taking seriously tone.
Campfire, we were trying to make it so that each puzzle you encounter feels new or has a unique
Yeah, it's
twist.
definitely
It's almost
lacking
like a
in
smorgasbord of all different types of logic puzzles.
Like I sense some disappointment.
It's a welcome relief to be outside, but then you kind of realise that this forest still might not be safe. And I think they're just
Well,
understanding
the
that this place they're
corpses
trapped in
kind of
is a dangerous
do
one.
give a sense of
Can be
danger.
reanimated. Oh god.
Finding and rekindling hope is actually one of the big themes at the heart of the
Necromancy,
game.
everyone's favorite.
Just wrapped in a lovely bow tie.
As the forlorn Ember awoke, the campfire flickered into life.
Rekindling. If I want to rekindle hope, I play Danganronpa.
Or Dark Souls. Well, hope is a big word for that, but...
I mean, also the same for Danganronpa, really.
Oh, game bar
We want
features.
to highlight some features that will help you take the most out of your Xbox One console. And if you're a parent,
What's the game
we want to
bar?
ensure you feel comfortable
Basically,
with how
they're
much
going
your
to make
kids are
alterations to
playing,
the
as well as
UI.
what kind of
That's what I
And
need to know.
she just explained that they want to make Hello Games probably want to make this game super accessible for a very young audience. So I guess that explains also why the narration is like that. Sure, alright.
help benefit newer players that are just getting comfortable playing games, players that require a unique configuration to play, or just to simply add a cooperative approach to any
Oh,
You can
okay
enable
then. So if I'm
co-pilot
ever
by heading
struggling
to
on
Ease of access and then
so if this were on PlayStation and I was struggling on the Final Fantasy VII remake,
Don't you
I could
dare,
do all the
Libs.
I could do all the moving about while Tio does the
Next up is
attack.
family settings, which includes
Yeah, the
over
problem is that
20
what I'm seeing
tools
here,
to
this
help
is
ensure
local,
parents
it's not
and guardians
online like
are
SharePlay,
comfortable with
so it
how
wouldn't
their
work.
Xbox One is set up. These
No, this
include
seems to be
screen time
set
management,
done
privacy
for like
settings,
how the
content
parents want to set the
restrictions, and
console for
much
their
more.
children, I
We go
guess.
to settings, accounts, and then
Which, to be
Which is a
fair,
fine
it's,
feature.
it's the only practical use that I will imagine that
which allows
because
you to browse
like
and create posts to find
sure,
new
it's fine
players
for
to play with.
educating your little kids
Let's
to
say
their
you
first
need a
couple of
fourth
games,
roommate for Sea of
but
Thieves.
don't be
No problem.
too lazy.
Simply head to the official club for the game, and you can create.
I mean, it's not
Oh.
exactly lazy because the child is still
Oh.
playing
No, no,
the
I
game
don't mean
just
I
with
don't
a
mean
bit
for
of
them.
help.
Okay.
I'm talking about the people not intended for the target audience.
Okay. So it looks like this stuff will have some online multiplayer functions.
And then send directly to either a gamer tag or some.
Oh, you can even buy as a gift for other people,
Finally, don't forget
like
you can play
on
music in
Steam.
the background on Xbox One, even when
Coming
playing the
up,
game.
CFP.
With supported apps like Pandora and
Oh,
Spotify,
that's very nice.
you can
And can someone
launch
buy
the app, choose the music you
can
want to
someone
play,
buy
and then move
Pokemon?
on to anything else you'd
That's
like.
not
You can then bring
Microsoft.
up the guide and control the music whenever you'd like.
I don't see the problem.
In just a moment, we're going to get an update on Sea of Thieves' new April update, but we have some great news for new features coming to
Xbox
Game Bar.
Play
Razer. Oh, wait, seriously, we're talking with Razer?
XSplit to integrate features that PC gamers commonly use right into the overlay, which means you don't have to run those
I thought
apps
Xbox
separately
Game
anymore,
Bar
unless you
was
want
this.
to. What does that mean?
Oh, hold
was
on.
this-
Actually, that's very important for me.
Control your stream right from the Xbox Game Bar, including starting and stopping your stream, interacting with chat, and checking out recent events and stats to help you with your viewer engagement.
Wow.
With Razer's Cortex
That's going to
integration,
make
you can boost your
Xbox
gaming
Game Pass
performance
record.
with the press of
Sorry,
one button,
Windows
which will
10
end
recording a
unnecessary
lot more
processes and
interesting.
services running in the background to help free
Razer
up resources
Cortex.
on
Actually,
your
don't know
These are just a couple of
this
examples
particular
of the
one.
Razer
So
and XSplit integration. For all the details, be sure to head to Xbox Wire for more information. We'll continue building on these partnerships and expanding Xbox Game Bar's functionality in the months to come. Now, if you're interested in checking out these new features early,
InsiderWindows.com.
What Xbox Game Bar was something you could put your alcohol in while you're playing Gears 5.
Pirate Life for over 2 years now. Can you believe that? Yeah, the team at Rare have poured all of their heart, their soul, their passion into building out this great
Whatever
pirate
heart they
adventure
have
for us.
left.
But guess what? There's still so much more on the horizon.
Oh, there would need to be more for people to forgive Rare for that initial release of a flop.
Ships of Fortune, which I guess is the next major update.
The trading companies of the Sea of Thieves want you to join their cause by signing up to become an emissary. Working on their behalf will see you rewarded with exclusive
Well,
cosmetics.
the customization does look a lot better now than it was originally.
Well, to be fair, John,
Are these updates even free, or do you have to pay for them?
actually don't know the details. If I recall, like, at least the first couple ones were, but I don't know if how they structure them.
I mean, let me remind everybody that this game, that Sea of Thieves came out in 2018 at $60. So
Oh yeah, these updates better not cost anything.
Marked by a Sea Dog beacon. With only one cash-in location, you'll have to battle hard to secure victory. And there's no time to
Here's the
waste.
thing, when it came to like No Man's Sky, I definitely heard when people actually started to legit like that game when it made its turn. Sea of Thieves, I've not really heard much about it. I mean, sure, there have been updates, but I've not really heard what people have to say about it, unlike No Man's Sky, so I'm wondering if there's really been an impact made with these changes.
We've got fancy new emotes.
Oh, no emotes!
Now, based on the Saber Wolf, another Rare games.
Introduction of cats.
Aww.
Oh, sure, they
I'm
have
not
cats.
buying this game. Go away.
Come on, Shira, look at the kitty.
Oh, that's so cute.
You can even have a cat with a pirate outfit. Come on.
I don't care.
That's okay, Shiro.
Why does it have to meow when it announces the
Joe,
I think it's Shiro. Okay, Shiro. Question: what would you rather have? CFVs with these kitties or Connectimal?
Or what?
That's a tough choice.
Connectimals.
That's interesting.
That one game with the Connect where you're petting that game with the Connect where you're petting baby tigers.
You know what? I'll take this.
Imagine your boss is saying, "Excuse me, we need you to record something. Would you mind doing it in your garden?"
And recently, you may have heard also we announced that we're coming.
Yeah, they actually did announce it a couple of days ago that Sea of Thieves is getting a Steam release. Maybe you'll be able to see the live feedback better there, Jova.
Probably.
I thought it already had a Steam release.
No. Surprisingly enough, for this one, Microsoft is self-publishing instead of subcontracting.
Typical Joe. But hey, great to know, as always, that there's some major things on the horizon for Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, the sad thing is that if
it's over.
Thank you so much for joining me
What?
from my home. It's been a pleasure.
Huh.
Well, I was going to tell us something, but he was
Stay
stopped.
healthy, and I'll hand over to Larry.
And it's over.
All right, that'll wrap it up for us here at Inside Xbox. But don't go away. Coming up next, we have an extended.
Yeah, I'm interested in the game, but yeah, I don't think so. For all intents and purposes, this is over.
Yeah, basically they're gonna have a live stream of
Stay tuned for
a long gameplay stream of Grounded. That's not part of Inside Xbox. That's just something that's after it. All right.
So.
All right then, shall we? So yeah, you know the sad thing though is that if Skull and Bones doesn't come out soon, I may just have to resort to Sea of Thieves for my pirate fix, especially if it's now coming to Steam. That's assuming that the game has improved enough, mind you, but still though.
Alright, can I go first with my final thoughts?
Sure.
Okay, I'm not going to fault the presentation because that was outside of their control, and yeah, I think presentation-wise, they did the best of what they had. Game-wise, they were games.
Are you sure about that?
There were definitely.
Yes.
Do you want to rewatch the stream?
Admittedly, some of those games are not coming to Xbox in this Inside Xbox stream, but we digress.
It's a good job. I was checking the Xbox fans that I follow, and one of them said, and I quote, "Only Xbox could pull off hosting a live stream called Inside Xbox and announce games not coming to Xbox."
Well, didn't we do that before?
One thing
it's
I will
just a running
say,
joke that they have too. That's all. Go ahead.
one thing I will say, the improvements to the game bar are they sound pretty neat. I can put my side. Oh no, it's the wrong bar. I can, like, if I was struggling on a game, I could have my, well, again, I don't have an Xbox One, but if say this were on PlayStation, for example, I mean, it's cool either way.
Mm-hmm.
If I was struggling on Final Fantasy VII or something, I could have my brother come around. He could do all the moving about while I do the attacking, or something like that.
I do wonder if that co-packing will apply to online use.
Oh, hey, what if it's like a racing game? Funny story, there's actually a segment on Top Gear where they have these cars where the two cars, one on top of the other. One did the accelerating and the braking, the other one did the steering. Maybe we could do like a video game version of that. One person does the steering, the other one is in charge of braking and accelerating. That would actually be a pretty cool way of getting more fun out of Forza, for example. But you guys didn't think of that, did you? I hear no response, so yeah.
Oh no, you've schooled us regarding it.
We're just polite, dweebs.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for being polite.
You're
but
welcome.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, the stuff on PC looks pretty neat too. I mean, you can even check how your PC's doing on CPU while you're playing, and gives you the chance to switch stuff off that you don't need. And What else? What else was there for the PC version of Game Bar?
The helping in supposed the boosting of a game performance thanks to not streamlining but making things easier with third-party contracts like Razer. I don't know exactly how exactly do they work, but if I recall correctly, they should be just instead of having you to go to 3 separate hotbars, it's just incorporating the Microsoft Game Bar.
There was also the partnering
more
up with
convenient.
There was also the partnering up with XSplit to help out with recordings done on the Game Bar.
Yeah, so there you are. That's one advantage that could be applied to all of us collectively. Very nice. But so yeah, this is for that reason alone, this is the best inside Xbox by default.
Aside from the previous one, how many did you see?
That's...
Yeah. Well, so it's basically the first in a 2-man competition so far.
I mean, 2-man competitions can still be competitive as wrestling, for example. But yeah, that's about it. It was okay. But I'm definitely more curious. I mean, okay, other than the Game Bar stuff, I'm more curious about what the hell about how the new PS5 controller is going to work.
All right.
That's. I'll be right back.
Cheery.
I'm sure.
Well, whoever wants to go first. Sorry.
I'll be quick anyway, so it's I'll go next if you don't mind. This was fine. I mean, the limited the limited ability to actually, put on a show, shall we say, probably helped them a bit because, usually these streams, from what I've seen, are quite uncomfortable to sit through.
Yeah.
No, in the sense that they try way too hard to be. God.
I mentioned this
cool,
before.
I guess, or whatever.
It starts with Phil Spencer's awkward smiles. Those are a turn off, if you ask me.
Whereas here, it feels more natural.
No, this inside Xbox was not all that lit.
Yeah.
Which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, no, it is a good thing. It was actually, I mean, it wasn't great. It was pretty, muchness, all things concerned. But it was far more. I don't really want to use the word enjoyable, but you know what I mean. It was far better to sit through than their previous ones.
I kind of wish this was lit.
No, I'm okay. Thank you. I mean, there are a couple of things that look interesting. I mean, I hope the narration in that one game might be you might be able to toggle that a bit because it seems, very pretty, I guess. I don't know. A lot of what they showed is quite samey.
Mm-hmm.
Like it mostly in terms of aesthetics and such. Also, what's the point in making Minecraft pretty? It's not supposed to be pretty.
To show off the power of the Xbox Series X, I guess.
Leave it alone.
It feels unnecessary more than anything.
I'll respond to you in my final thoughts, Joe. Go ahead, Jerry.
There's I get, but Minecraft is probably an easy example to showcase that with, but it's like it kind of, as Tio said, takes away the whole feel of it, I guess. It's just that it's wrong. It looks wrong to me.
Yeah. Remember not to take what I said too seriously, Paige.
The one with the giants.
I'm aware of that.
No, the game with the giant spider seems fine enough. Again,
Grounded.
Yeah, art style notwithstanding, it feels like very I want to say
Epic Quest, sort of.
No. I mean, referring to the art style specifically, it looks very, it's like
cartoony.
It's quite template. Honestly, it feels to me quite template. I mean, the game seems fine enough. But yeah. Overall, this was actually an okay stream, I thought. They didn't show off a lot that was new, but they showed off enough that I don't feel like I wasted my time, really.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess that's an accomplishment. Alright, who's next?
Okay, Joe, but like you yourself said, yeah, I get that you were joking, but I still want to answer that question because I still want to respond to you because to make a point. If Microsoft wants to show off the power of the Xbox Series X, here's an idea: announce a new AAA IP that looks graphically impressive. That's usually how companies do these things, but whatever. Anyway, I'm every time we finish an Xbox E3 thing or stream, I always end up saying the same thing. So whatever. It's like I'm just so tired of this content barrage of just fine to good games. I want something that impresses me, something amazing, because I'm tired of just settling for good enough, to be honest. Because yes, I like playing games that are good. But I also, I love being blown away by games like God of War, or
Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Or Smash Brothers. Well, Smash Ultimate, it's not. But I love. Don't get me wrong, Joe. I love Smash Ultimate, of course. It's just that usually I'm blown away by something that's like refreshing in some kind of way. Something that's like unexpected in some way. Whereas Smash Ultimate is the
Smash Ultimate was very unexpected in a lot of ways, but I guess a better thing might be I guess another example could be something like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Super Mario Odyssey.
Sure, let's go with that. That kind of stuff, exactly.
The point being is all three of those from Nintendo, Smash Ultimate and Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, they're all big titles like Horizon Zero Dawn or Uncharted 4.
Sure. I get you. No, and I'm getting quite a bit tired of again, it's like I've said before, like this console is 12 teraflops. What's the point of having a console this powerful if you're not going to actually what I loved back in the early 90s? When I was, why I loved playing Sonic 1 so much? This was back before any of you guys were born. You know why I loved Sonic 1 so much? Because it looked so much better and so much cooler than anything on the NES. It completely looked like nothing I've ever seen before in a platformer. It's that kind of new car smell. Holy shit, this looks awesome. And that's the kind of shit that you do to sell your fucking consoles, and I'm not seeing that for the Xbox Series X. Where's the big thing that's gonna showcase what this thing can do? Where is it? This thing releases in is it like 4 months, 5 months? This thing supposedly it might be a bit delayed at the time of this recording, but at the time of this recording we're releasing in about 5 months. But okay, let's assume for now that it will release in 5 months. Where's the killer app? Because most of these games are indie games, so they're most likely going to be multi-plat anyway. So where's the new AAA IP that completely blows everything the competition is doing out of the water? Something that really impresses me. Where is it? Because I'm not seeing it. And I'm getting a bit tired of constantly having indies shown to me. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against indie games. It's just that if I'm going to buy a console that's most likely going to cost $500+, I want games that definitely make my investment worth it.
Well, I guess you got Will of the Wisps.
Like imagine if Sonic 1 looked like an NES game. Like
the Game Gear version.
The whole marketing, those were 8-bit consoles, man. Like the whole marketing behind Sonic was Genesis does what Nintendo don't. That was the whole thing, like that new car smell. Holy shit, this is so unlike anything I've ever played. Look at that parallax scrolling in Green Hill.
It's not just that. It would be nice if the game actually came from the console developer / publisher also.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the thing, Shuei. They have Fable in development. We know they have because it got leaked, but they still won't fucking show it to us. But whatever. Hell, where's Halo? Allow me to remind everybody that Halo Infinite is supposed to launch with this thing.
Halo game?
Halo 5 came out in 2015.
Yeah, 2015.
This game has been in development for 5 years now. Allow me to remind you, Shiroi, Halo Infinite releases on launch day of this console. It's going to be a cross-gen game, don't get me wrong, so it's not going... But regardless,
we have not
it's
seen
going
any
to be...
news about it since it was first
We haven't seen any
really-
gameplay of it. This game releases in 5 months, along with this console, and we have yet to see any gameplay of it.
And for record's sake, Shiroi, Halo is essentially Xbox players' Mario.
Yeah,
Like,
it's the franchise. The only reason...
No, I
Shiroi,
know
the
what it
Xbox-
is. I just hadn't heard anything about it in years.
That's because Shiroi, Halo 5 was such rap garbage that basically they're pulling. It was basically the Metroid Other M of the franchise. Basically, they went quiet and they're trying their best to get their shit together. And Halo Infinite is going to be the game where Free Industries, the developer, has everything to prove. And if they fail this one too, yeah, Halo might die if they don't get this one right. But whatever. I'm just... I'm tired. I'm tired of settling for good enough. I'm tired. Like, we've had so many years in this ecosystem, the Xbox ecosystem, I mean, where we're constantly I'm constantly being told that I should... Whatever, these games look good. Okay, yes, they look good, but I don't want good games, just good games. I want amazing games. Nintendo is giving me amazing games. Sony's giving me amazing games. Why can't Xbox?
Hey, PC's been giving us amazing games. That's the thing. It's like, well,
Jova, you need to be more specific because it's either two cases. Either it's a first party, in which case it's a paradox because in that case it is Microsoft, or it's third party, therefore that statement is not really meaning that much.
I'm talking more so about the platform, but here's the thing about Microsoft. Basically, Microsoft, ever since the original Xbox One, screwed the pooch on things, and after they released Sunset Overdrive, feels like they've been running on fumes that they're just waiting to discard as soon as Xbox Series X comes.
It's not just that, Joe, but like if you go back and count the data, and if you check all the evidence we have, it's pretty much confirmed at this point that because remember, after in 2014, Microsoft just stopped producing AAA games that are not Halo, Gears, and Forza.
And even with their big main titles, they've been slowing down on those big time as well.
See, here's the thing. Let me use Nintendo as an example. There's a lot of Nintendo Directs that have indie showcases. You know why nobody, including me, minds those indie showcases in Nintendo Directs? Because Nintendo doesn't just shove indies throughout their entire Direct. They also show their big guns, like Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
There's also the fact that Nintendo actually separates the indie showcase from the main direct. So.
They've even created their own social media for the indie stuff specifically now. So
and even when it does come to indies, they often try to pick the best of the indies as opposed to just random indie there be.
And it's also very rapid fire with Nintendo. But go ahead, Pete.
It's like I'm so tired. Like I'm so tired of being I'm not being told by you guys. I mean, like apologists for Xbox. I mean, I'm so tired of being told to just be happy with games that are good. The games look good. What are you complaining about? Well, okay, if you're happy just playing games that are good and never be blown away, never be impressed, never have your horizons broaden, that's up to you, but I don't. That's not what makes gaming exciting to me.
It's like I said before, like those apologists, it's mainly, buyer's remorse to the nth degree, pretty much.
It's one of those things where, okay, let me talk about, for example, that game where there were vegetables.
Oh yeah, Atomic Crops.
Atomic Crops. Okay, Atomic Crops. Does it look like it's a good game? Yeah, it looks like it's fine for what it is. But
it also looks multi-plat, so not really relevant for the Xbox brand.
Aside from that, though, Teo, does it look like a game that I'll remember for the rest of my life, like God of War? No.
I mean, okay.
Hold on, Joe. He's talking for himself, though.
I know.
I'm talking about myself though. Like if
I know.
you love that game, by all means, I'm happy for you.
There are people who, since it came out, they've been playing nothing but The Binding on Isaac, and they're perfectly fine with that.
Exactly.
No. Let me explain. I was actually sort of agreeing with you on that case. It's like I was going to say, yeah, I mean, you know, whether or not you like it, in Atomic Crops, it may look interesting to some, but I think the better question to ask is it really a system seller? Because that's what the Xbox brand has been lacking. System sellers.
Because remember, this thing is 12 teraflops, and as we've seen, even it has a shit ton of power. This thing is not gonna be cheaper than $500. No fucking way. Am I going to spend $500 on a console to play fucking Atomic Crops? Hell no.
And like I said it before, I mean, okay. And like Tio said, this will probably be multi-plat, so if you can get this on the Xbox One or the Nintendo Switch, both of which will probably be cheaper than Xbox Series X.
Fine. I'll refer this then back to the first party games. Okay, fine. Like Grounded. Okay. Grounded looks fine for what it is. I have no problem, by all means, Tio. Enjoy Grounded to your heart's content. I have no problem with that. It's a cross-gen game though, so I can just play it on my Xbox. So whatever. It's just one of the. But is it a system seller? Is this okay? Supposedly Halo Infinite is going to be the system seller, but it's a cross-gen game as well. It's on X. I can play it on my Xbox One, so I don't have to buy a Series X to play Halo Infinite. Go ahead, Joe.
True. However, even if a game is cross-gen, it can be a system seller for the newer console, as we saw with Breath of the Wild on the Switch.
Yeah. Well, I would argue that with Breath of the Wild it was a special case because so many people didn't buy the Wii U. So if the Wii U was a big financial success and a lot of people had it, I will argue it wouldn't have. Most people would have bought it on the Wii U.
Admittedly, we're kind of in a similar case with the Xbox One, where less and less people were buying Xbox Ones, and a lot of people were trading in their Xbox Ones for PS4s or Nintendo Switches.
It's like
or PCs.
Also, it's just one of those things where Microsoft just seems so out of touch of how they should do these things. It's just first of all, and this doesn't necessarily apply to me, but it's a topic that I feel very personal about. So I'll still complain about this.
Go on,
because since I'm in touch with these people. Microsoft, your fans want new AAA games. Where are they? It's just because if you go back to the original Xbox and the Xbox 360, it was stuff like again, it doesn't matter if you guys like those games or not. I'm not particularly a big fan either, but I'm speaking for the Xbox crowd right now. The original Xbox had stuff like Jet Set Radio Future. It had American exclusive rights for Shenmue 2. It had Panzer Dragoon Orta. Hardcore games that the hardcore gamers love. Stuff like that. It was Xbox 360 had Gears of War, Call of Duty exclusive content. They even bought exclusive rights to certain JRPGs and everything. Where's that Microsoft? A Microsoft that actually appeased to the hardcore crowd.
I'll tell you what happened. That Microsoft pretty much left after Bill Gates stepped away from the games division. I've said it before and I'll say it again. While he may not have been directly involved with the game company, he was a nerd who got other nerds. Again, stuff like him showing up at Best Buy to purchase the first title of Halo 3 with 2 armed Spartan guards beside him. Stuff like that is what got people's attention, and tactics like the ones he came up with are what drew in the gamer crowd.
It's one of those things where, again, a lot of Xbox fans want something like the new, for example, Gears of War was the big flagship franchise of the 360, kind of, because there was only one good Halo on the 360. Whereas there's nothing comparable right now. Like, where's the next big AAA franchise that's going to take Gears' place? You know, because it's just I'm just getting so tired of having nothing but indies shown to me. Because you have a console to sell. Show me something that actually is worth buying this thing for.
To be fair, there was a lot more than just the indie shown. I think part of the reason that, you sort of see it that way is like, well, the indies might have been the most memorable thing when in this stream when you get down to it.
Well, Jova, remember, indie is basically anything that doesn't come from a AAA publisher, and there was a lot, to be fair.
Okay. Let me rephrase that, Jova. Let me rephrase that. Any game that doesn't look like a AA indie game, like regardless of who's publishing it, like because even the first party games look like indie games. Like Grounded is not a AAA game. Again, nothing against Grounded. If you love it, by all means, have fun.
Oh, I get what you mean.
You like hell. You know what I would love? Like, I would love more indie games that are like Plague Tale. But whatever.
So by that definition, not all indie games are indie games?
No, indie games are more ambitious too.
Well, exactly, but you defined games that don't use, a AAA style, graphical style to define their how they look like indies. The problem is that the indie community does produce games that have that particular characteristics. So,
well, no, fine. I was just it was just a throwaway line anyway. I'm not trying to make an argument for that. Okay. To put this, okay, everything in this game, everything that was shown here looks fine. It looks fine. But you have a console coming out in 5 months. Where's Halo Infinite?
I thought that the Xbox Series X was coming out this December.
Supposedly, they're saving Halo Infinite for the E3 replacement stream. Supposedly. Okay, what, are you gonna pull a Nintendo, like what they do with Breath of the Wild, and make the entire show about Halo Infinite? That's the only way. The fact that we haven't seen gameplay of it so far makes any kind of sense, and even then, that's still pushing it. Because because by that point, it will literally be 3 months before the game releases that we finally see gameplay, which is ridiculous, no matter what you're standing from. So yeah, like I just like I just want something different because I'm so tired of the constant barrage of indie games from these inside Xboxes. Again, nothing wrong against that. I just want, how about variety in this thing? Show something different, even before I saw this, I already knew there was going to be nothing but indies, and lo and behold, it was. How about like with Nintendo? Let me use Nintendo Direct as an example. Sometimes Nintendo Directs have surprises. Like sometimes they'll have, oh, by the way, Metroid Prime 4 is in development, and everybody rejoices. Nobody was expecting
because it leads instead to accidents like just what you mentioned with Metroid Prime 4.
That's what I said.
Well, yeah, that depends, Pedro. If they blow their load too early, then it risks cause accident in the long run, and you getting pissed off double as a result.
Well, Teo, here's the thing. It's been, after all these years, it's about, there comes to a point where you need to have some kind of faith in your developers and some faith that projects are going to go well. You have to grow your balls back at some point and take some risks, I mean, if you're like, sometimes risks need to be taken in order to get bigger payoffs, it's just like Nintendo does it. Why can't Xbox? Whatever. It's just nothing. Nothing here is all that impressive to me. Nothing here that is worth buying the Xbox for. To me, and that's basically it. I just want something amazing for a change, something that really rocks my socks off. I mean, is that asking for too much? Considering I have to pay $500 for this console, I don't think it's asking for much, to be honest.
Didn't you get your console used?
No, I'm not gonna get a Series X. At least not.
No,
yeah,
no,
I was about to say, like,
This-
it probably just seems like you're not gonna get it at all.
Besides,
I'm-
Jova,
sure.
this game will also be available on PC anyway. So.
Well, Shiro, whether or not I get it is irrelevant to my argument, because if you're selling me a console that costs $500, maybe even more, who knows? We still don't know the price yet. If you're selling me a console that has that costs $500, you better show me some kind of amazing thing that makes worth that purchase. Which they're not doing it. And you know why the Switch? You think the Switch would have sold as well as it did without Breath of the Wild in it? Hell to the no, it wouldn't. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody here can agree with that.
I'm trying to remember what were the Wii U's launch titles.
It had Nintendo
Land,
we had
maybe?
Arkham City Armored Edition.
Oh, those are third parties. I'm trying to think first party.
First party was mostly just Nintendo Land.
Yeah,
that I
mainly
remember.
just Nintendo Land, where you're talking about first party launch title stuff.
Yeah. Where, like, on 2017, the launch year of the Switch, we got Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, the best game ever made, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. That's a kick-ass launch year, you know? And without that first year, then the Switch wouldn't have taken off as well as it did. I can guarantee you that. Because Breath of the Wild, to this day, is still in the top 20 on the NPD. That's how much that fucking game sells. That game alone sold 10 million Switches or more. Just think about that. And that, you know why? That's because consoles need a killer app. I'm sorry, but that's how things work. We need a killer app, a big game, a big, amazing, impressive game that blows everybody away, that makes people, oh, I gotta get myself that console for that. That's how these things work. That's how they've always worked. People got a Genesis because of Sonic 1. People got a PlayStation because of Crash Bandicoot or Final Fantasy 7 or Metal Gear Solid, depending on what genre you prefer. People got an Xbox because of Halo, the original Xbox. That's how these things work. That's how they've always worked, and that's not going to change anytime soon. You need content. You need appealing, awesome content that makes people be willing to spend the money. And I'm not seeing it here. And the console releases in 5 months. That's a problem.
Again, isn't it supposed to come out in December?
Is it December? Wasn't it usually November?
I thought it was November.
Was it November?
Oh, well, it's November, then that's more than 5 months, then.
But, fine.
I did say holiday release, but yeah, go on, Pedro.
Fine. It releases this year. Supposedly. I mean, it might get delayed. It hasn't yet at the time of this recording. It hasn't gotten delayed yet. It releases this year, and I still have yet to see a reason to buy it. And look at and like you yourself said, Jova, Nintendo Land had a very, very lackluster launch lineup, and look how that turned out.
The Wii U, you mean?
The Wii U. What did I say?
You said the Nintendo Land.
Oh, well, the Wii U.
Well, I would argue Nintendo would have been a better console name than Wii U.
Well, he just said Nintendo. He didn't specify the console, but I think we all knew what he meant.
Well, no, like Theo just said, the Wii U also suffered from a horrible marketing campaign where a lot of people didn't know what it was if it wasn't add on to the Wii. Yeah, there was that too, yes. But let's face it, the lackluster launch lineup didn't help. You know, did you buy a Nintendo Wii U for Nintendo Land? I didn't. I bought it for Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze.
But isn't that on Switch?
Well, at the time it wasn't.
This is actually relevant because you're talking about the launch release of the original console.
Well, regardless, to finish this, the point is there's no killer app, and if this was last year they had the excuse that the thing was a year out. You know, last year when they had a lot of indie style stuff, if you prefer, that was fine. But now you're months away from releasing your console, your game. If you want to even have a chance of competing against Nintendo and Sony, you need to step up your game, because you're not going to be able to compete with just this. You need more. So step up your game. Otherwise, you'll get your ass handed to you again for the second generation in a row. That's what's gonna happen. Like, if you're not, but I mean, at this point, most people don't care about the Xbox brand anyway. So it's just gonna. But whatever. Like, it's not even trying. But whatever. That's it for me. It's a fine stream for what it is, but the timing of it is terrible. This is not the time to be showing this kind of stuff. You need to bring out your big guns. I get that that's what E3 is for, or the E3 replacement stream, but if that's it, then you might as well just have saved all of this stuff for that E3 replacement stream anyway, because I failed to realize the point of this. For the console at least. I mean, it's fine if you're into these games, and fine. I think Grounded could have been shown at E3 as well. I mean, I think this stream was pointless. They should have saved all of this stuff for E3, combined with the other stuff. To be honest, that's it for me. I'm done.
All right then. I will go next. Yeah, it was a fine stream here and there. Grounded looks nice. Not the most amazing thing. Gears Tactics looks nice. Again, I'm not quite sure if it'll be my thing, but it looks nice. I think the thing that interested me most, ironically, was that game from Hello Games, the one that looks like a cross between...
Last Campfire.
Last Campfire. That was probably the most interesting thing for me this whole stream. Atomic Crops looks interesting, but I'm not quite sure if I'll buy it. The indie games also looked interesting, you know, for the few that were there, and they looked fine, but they'll probably be multi-platform here and there. It was, okay. I will agree with Shiroi and Tio that, you know, it helps a lot. Dwibs also said about how it helps a lot that, you know, with these guys not having this big grandeur setting here and there, like a whole stage and everything, it was nice to see them in more a natural setting and just them acting more naturally in general. Phil
Maybe it's
Spencer...
an actual calamity to force these people to tone down.
Well, yeah, that's just how life tends to be. Sea of Thieves. It's an interesting add-on here. It was not as big as I was thinking it would be, though, from what I've heard. I've not really been keeping up with Sea of Thieves, so I have no idea if it's at a point where people consider it a lot more desirable, or if it's finally gone through its No Man's Sky-esque redemption.
Well, I checked the Steam page, Joe.
From what I'm saying, Joe,
one at a time.
If it's any consolation or whatever you may be interested, the Steam version that gets launched includes automatically all the updates that have been happening so far. So you're not going to have to spend extra time, at least at launch. I suppose any future updates, you will see how they will be handled.
That's good to know, and with it being on Steam, it should be easier for me to keep track of the feedback people have to it. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, it's nice that Sea of Thieves is coming to Steam. There's just hoping it's actually good here. Now, there were some weird omissions here and there, but I assume that they're saving that for their E3 show or whatnot. I do kind of wish we could have seen, you know, more actual games that are exclusive to Xbox Series X. That was a bit of a shame. It was nice learning more about the Xbox Series X, but yeah, I feel like they could have afforded to show us at least one game from it. Again, unless they're saving it for their big E3 showing. But yeah, overall, this stream was fine. It was fine. It was definitely an improvement over their first one that we've commentated on. So, yeah, there's that. Like the state of plays, it definitely needs to work its way up to feeling like it has an absolute necessity to exist here and there. But also, like state of plays, it feels like they're getting better, so... Well, we can only hope that they'll get better from here. Okay, Tio, close us out.
Be pretty much quick. In itself, the stream was fine. Again, redundancy, the stream was fine. But let me ask a question that no one has done so far. Because you had the dude with a Cuphead hoodie, and you tell nothing about it. You know, the studio.
Yeah, I noticed that. But...
MG Something Studio telling, oh, the DLC is going fine. We'll showcase more. And later, like, we can't show anything now, but everything is doing fine.
It's like they thought, hey, Cuphead's one of the few things that gives us a lot of goodwill, so let's have this guy host.
Exactly. It's more like, hey, see, guys, we're the one who saved the Cuphead. Please respect us.
Let me just interrupt you real quick, Teo. From what I'm seeing here on the Xbox Store, Java, it seems like all those updates, even for the original Xbox release in 2018 of Sea of Thieves, are apparently free, because I'm not seeing here anything on the DLC list that actually has the expansion. So apparently they're just free updates. They're not even DLC. They're just free updates.
Figures.
So there's that. Go ahead, Teo.
Okay. The Grounded looks, again, I'll need to check again the previous trailer, but it looks a bit more polished. So I guess that really was an alpha state when they showcased it. Gears Tactics interest me, but my PC can't run that, so either I have to wait or ironically enough get an Xbox One. The Last Campfire is nice, but potentially not for me because of the incessant narration. I get it, it's an aesthetic thing, the way the game is presenting its story. It's just that I'd rather have the narration suffice moments that I can't see, so it fills in the gaps. Atomic Crops is not for me anyway. For an indie of that particular caliber, I will play a different title like Castle Crushers. And everything else was just there. They talked a bit about Forza coming to mobile, a bit of Ori. Sea of Thieves, like, if I wasn't busy with other games with MMO structure, I guess I could give a thought to that, but right now, not really. We will see what Joe thinks about it and decide from there. But going to what Pedro said, I agree with the fact that the console is not too long from release, and the only major quote-unquote title that we know is only Hellblade 2. Keep in mind, I'm not necessarily... Maybe Halo Infinite. Okay, true. Because Grounded is launching in July, like this summer, so it's not going to be launched for the Xbox Series X. And I keep using as a chart to referring that screen that has like 12 titles, both first and third party, from the launch with PS2. That is arguably the best launch window for a console ever. But there's pretty much of everything, a bit of first and third party. And right now, there isn't much. The only major third party exclusive I can think of is for the North American temporary exclusivity deal for the localization of Phantasy Star Online 2. And even then, we know that the game is going to get on PS4 anyway at some point, and even in Europe. So it's only just a fleeting thought. I actually agree on the fact that it feels weird that Microsoft is not is keeping a bit quiet on some AAA release. I don't understand, but even the quote-unquote AA release are just going to be released relatively soon, not necessarily on the Xbox One X launch. For that, we only know Hellblade 2, potentially Halo Infinite, and the Phantasy Star Online 2 North American temporary release. That's like 3 titles. I guess E3 really needs to show, the E3 replacement really needs to show a bit more, not just in terms of quality, but actual quantity, because the things that we're showing right now, yes, are much, but they're all coming out potentially before the launch, and that's assuming the delay doesn't happen. So, unless Microsoft is really banking on what they theorized about relying mostly on third parties, they're not going to have much period at launch, whether it looks spectacular or not. So that's what concerns me the more about it.
If you allow me,
I can agree with that.
If you allow me to, one thing that Phil Spencer keeps saying in interviews, I can even show you this if you want after we're done with this. He keeps saying that he doesn't even care about console sales because that's not how we make our money. So they themselves don't even seem to care about selling their console. That is your answer.
I'm not a businessman, so as long as they actually make a profit, I guess that's what counts.
Games Pass, baby, that's where the money is.
Anyway,
yes, quantity over quality. Go ahead.
I will need to check also the game bar. Well, that's a thing that I mentioned, that for the Xbox One X launch, I argue there's not even that much quantity, unless again we only rely on third-party release like.
You mean Xbox Series X, right? Because Xbox One X is the enhanced version of the Xbox One.
But you know what I mean, and this has gone already far enough.
The XXX.
Yes.
Look, it's not my fault Microsoft chose a dumb name for their enhanced version of the Xbox One, calling it Xbox One X.
So yeah, for the purpose of this stream, this was fine. But I do have reserves for what the future will hold. So we'll have to see what they're going to do in 2 months, assuming the situation doesn't get even worse, not just for Microsoft, but you know what I mean. So stay tuned.
All right then, that was the second Xbox Inside Xbox that we've ever commented on. Tune in next time for when we see Xbox's big show at presumably IGN's Summer of Gaming event.
Unless they surprise drop one before that.
Of course. See you next time.
See ya.
See ya.